Hello, my dear audiences. Welcome to the show, Jack Zhao on the East-West Show with G&E TV. As a tradition at this show, we pay lots of attention to the big issue, education. Education is a big word to, I believe, to you too, because it holds our future, right? Nowadays, we have a big talk about the new term, which has been just freshly adopted by the internet language commonly used, 富二代. 富二代, it spells like F-U-E-R-D-I-A, or D-A-I, 富二代. In English, it could refer to the rich second generation. Or somebody goes even shorter, that's rich second, or the rich two. They do that way, different ways, but it defines the second generation of the rich people who might not necessarily all be the new money, but kind of rich, right? So the money kind of being heritated to the second generation, and them, well, being the guys that being watched by the whole world. So in talking about that issue, though, we have to make it clear that whatever we say here, including me, myself, are our personal opinions, right? And I don't know you guys. I know whatever I say represents my own personal opinion only, nothing but my own personal. So let me do the introduction, all right? I have Mr. Aaron Rose, an educator, to be more precise, college planner, right? Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
All right. And I believe you speak Chinese.
我会讲一点.
All right, very good. That's not idiot. And next to him, as you know already, you know him better than you know me, Mr. Ken Hamming, my brother. And he is a writer, and he is a philosopher. He is a commentator. He is everything, plus on top of being a CPA.
Right.
Well, you know. All right, so welcome,
And
Ken.
Thank you for letting me be here, and I certainly am at a major disadvantage with you two guys who can speak Chinese and I can't.
I didn't even say my welcome statement. You didn't finish my welcome statement. So welcome to the show.
I'm happily disadvantaged.
Very good. Very good. Well, every time with my good friends at the show, I seem to have very good time. No matter we agree or not on issues we're talking about, we feel enjoy the moment together, right? So with the welcome, I would like you, each of you, to do an introduction with your field of expertise. Ken, please?
An introduction on the subject of today, or?
No, your own introduction.
Of myself?
Of yourself, including your social security number, saving account, numbers of girlfriends, so on and so forth.
Well, all I will say is I'm Ken Hemming, and I live for oxygen, the joy of life, to share, spread sunshine. And when I wake up in the morning, that's my mission, is to spread smiles, positive attitudes, and the message of my personal value system in my soul.
And then, in other words, you're thankful to you're still breathing next time. I mean, this morning you wake up, right?
Every breath I take tastes so well.
I like that.
That's what I do.
Aaron, please.
Well, my background is I have a long history living and working in China. I'm currently an educational planner, so I work with students to help them plan their way through high school into college. I agree absolutely in spreading the idea of a personal message. I believe that everybody has a personal message which they need to find and then learn the words and the ability to share that so that they can help enhance the discourse that goes on in public. So I'm a big student advocate, education. I believe in lighting the fire for learning.
You know, all of a sudden I realized something, that if somebody can come here, put you guys together, they have nothing else. They need nothing else. Right?
Actually, I'm so honored to meet Aaron today.
Yeah, sure.
And,
one has a beautiful mind, and one has
friend.
a beautiful flame. If they have a kid, they turn their kids to your hands, though. They have a future, right?
Well,
that's exactly what we're talking about, right?
Yes.
That's exactly the issue for today, as versus the 富二代, which is the second, rich second. So to start with, though, let's bring it as a picture, overall picture to our audiences. How much do you know? How much do you know about the corruption? I call it corruption because you may get corrupted with using the public money. You may still get corrupt using your own money, right? So I call it quote unquote corruption. So how much do you know? How much do you know? Or how much are you aware of? And how much are you aware of about the corruption of the second rich piece?
Well, you start and
Well, my background, I lived in China from off and on from the year of 1992 until 2009. And I've been dealing with a lot of new Chinese immigrants in America who, in a large way, represent that idea of the, in English, we would probably call them trust fund babies.
Trust fund babies, yeah, that's a
exactly.
legal term.
That's probably the closest.
That's a legal term.
The
yeah.
closest that we have in America to the Chinese fuerdai is the trust fund babies. And just to highlight one example, a school that I've been working with, one of the students came to a teacher and had a big problem. And his problem was that he had a Lamborghini and he wanted to buy a Ferrari, but he wasn't sure if he should sell his Lamborghini first or just have two cars and keep the Lamborghini and get a Ferrari.
Give them both.
And he took this problem to his teacher, who drove like a Toyota,
yeah.
you know,
Something.
Toyota Corolla.
A
right?
Corolla.
So this guy's one car represents more money than his teacher makes in several years.
Yeah.
And this is part of the mentality that I think you can say kind of like the conspicuous consumption of the 20s has kind of infiltrated into this generation of folks in China who have this newfound wealth, but they have lacked the education and morals that can keep that and sustain that so that they can develop those human qualities that we need in order to move forward. I wouldn't call myself an expert, but I definitely have some exposure.
Right. You know what? You know why I couldn't help laughing?
Yeah.
Is I was thinking about what the teacher advised him.
They actually raised the tuition at the school. That was
right.
the response.
That's very funny.
Probably the teacher would have said that, okay, let me keep that car and you buy another one.
Yeah.
Right? You buy with the Ferraris, right?
Exactly.
Okay. How much are you aware about the corruption, call it quote unquote corruption of the fuerdai of the slash?
Well, first of all, I say that I don't agree with the word corruption, okay? Because we are born to whoever we are born with, and sometimes the people that we're born to are wealthy people, and there's I think whether China or America, there's three different classes of these trust fund babies, or however you said the other word. There's a group that will just live off of their parents, maybe even still live with their parents and use their money and hang out with other wealthy kids and just kind of go through life without seeking responsibilities and excellence in different areas. Then there's another one that's got some elements of guilt and they call it slumming it, where they hang out with people that are not so gifted, not so financially, and maybe and they get into alcohol and drug culture and do some stupid things, and so they can feel more accepted, and maybe they feel a little neglected by their parents because there's so much money. Then there's another group that realizes they're blessed and seeks to become excellent in something, whether it be another type of profession, go into their parents' business, or perhaps run for office like Kennedy's and Bush's and all these things that happen here.
Okay.
So there's different attributes to different individuals that are blessed with this money. So I think in a way the corruption is not the issue. And one quote in what I read yesterday is that most of what your kids, your rich kids, will be like is how you raise them. It goes right back to the family, each and every example.
Thank you very much for your briefing. I really agree with like 88%, not 99% of it. The part I do not agree is that I still go ahead and want to call it corruption. So that probably, the disagreement with the definition definition that exactly represents the concept. And that exactly represents why we do the show today. All right, so do you agree with me to call those corrupted boys, girls, corruption?
Well, I won't agree or disagree, but I will say that we have a phrase which is power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. And I think that
does money corrupt too?
Money is part of that equation, but I do also believe that it comes down to one's level of personal responsibility, and I agree that that does come with the family values that you pass down. When you look at education, the best schools out there are always interviewing the family, especially for younger students, because they want to see, is this student going to be backed by the kind of values that's going to make them a responsible member and an asset to our school and to our education system and our society in general. So corruption, I think, is the idea of being able to put some of those ideas about material wealth and personal gain ahead of the greater good, and that's where you get into that area between.
We must make sure that we understand the word definition of corruption. To lots of people, the majority of people, they relate that to the illegal concept, illegal part of activities. But in my dictionary, in my vocabulary, corruption is a neutral word. It's the lifestyle that you corrupt with. So you may be using public money, which makes you criminal. You may use your own money, which is okay, but you're corrupting yourself. So that is why I go ahead, apply that. So does that help explain my mind?
I humbly disagree. I think if I've earned my money, nobody's ever given me a penny in my life. I've earned my money, and if I want to use it in ways that give me pleasure, that are proper for society, I think that's my right. And so these people, we're not born corrupt. It's a result of, well, we have, all around the world, the family is weakening, okay?
Good, very good.
The
very
educational system is weakening, and temptations are greater than they've ever been through the social media.
Absolutely. And this is actually, in China right now, what you see is this transition from, in the 70s, when China was really kind of at the bottom of a economic spiral, to today, when it has basically been slingshot into a position of global prominence through industrialization and financial growth. You have this situation where those temptations are so much greater and more amplified than we have here in America, because the parents of these rich or trust fund babies, if you would, had to work very hard to get where they were, and they live in a different world than which they came up in. And now they want to provide a better life for their children. At the same time, they've got to juggle a very busy schedule and trying to put the education in there. I meet a lot of parents in this situation who are struggling with their kids.
Yeah, we'll talk about the cure later when we move to the next segment, though. Right now, let's stick to the definition, right? So when Ken says that it is no fault, or he doesn't feel any guilty part of doing, say, enjoying whatever he has earned, because nobody gives him penny himself. All his money is earned by himself. He has the right, absolute right, to live the way he thinks necessary for his enjoyment.
In a righteous way.
Let me give you an example. There's one guy that I highlighted here. He's been the son of one of the richest guy in China. He recently bought 2 Google Watch for his dogs.
Okay.
Right? Does that make him happy? Does that make the dog happy? Is that part necessary for him to feel that he enjoy life better than anybody else? Or the most important thing, that if you're talking about responsibility, being a responsible person, right? If you are responsible, what message are you delivering to the rest of the folks? So, who can answer this question? Well, please, maybe my audiences can. Today, my dear audiences, we're talking about the big issue about Fu Er Dai. To be simple, call it the rich second / the trust fund babies, right? Okay, trust fund babies are kind of a more legal term because they go on the piece of paper, say, here's the trust fund. In most of the cases, there's no such a process, just some money automatically goes to you because your parents' money, right? So the thing is that we're talking about what danger, what risk this phenomenon, or call it phenomena, brings us to our society, or what does it hurt? Does it or does it not hurt a moral issue, the core value? So joining me today are my 2 wonderful friends. They are all philosophical to me. Kind of, all right. Writer, Mr. Ken Hemming, educator, Mr. Aaron Rose. So let's pause for a little bit. When we come back, we'll find out, and each of you, owe me an answer to my question, please.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.